YouTube, it's Barney Black here. This is Running with MS and episode 2 of 17, getting ready for the West Highland Way Ultra. Today is February the 24th and it would have been my dad's 72nd birthday today if he was still around. So happy birthday, old man, wherever you are. I'm sure you're out there somewhere. Right then, so the last week, this is episode 2, I'm going to talk a little bit chronologically about what I've been doing, and obviously the big finale to the week was taking part in the Glentress Marathon. So I'm going to take you through the week, the Glentress Marathon, and then that'll be a wrap. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much. We've reached 50 subscribers. That's massive for me. I'm really chuffed with that. The 50th subscriber is somebody called Running Man with 2 N's. And I'll post a link to his blogs that he's got. He is based in South Africa and he's a runner, and somehow he's managed to stumble across this very page. So if, like him, you like running and you've not subscribed, tick that subscribe button. You can keep up to date with my exploits as I get ready to take part in the West Highland Way Ultra and do 50 marathons in total this year as an accumulative total, and do the North Coast 500 with Kenny and Cami. So stay tuned and subscribe. Right, so this week I've made notes because otherwise I forget my thread. So Monday I played football, which I covered 4 miles. That's kind of like a fartlek session for me. Tuesday I did a 7-mile run. That was a really nice night. It was really clear after all the storms that we had. And it was 7 miles on the flat. I was intending to do 6 miles on a couple of miles uphill, but I went 7 miles flat instead. Wednesday I had a rest and I met a guy called John Cassidy. More about John in a minute. He is a veteran finisher of the West Highland Way Ultra. He did it in 2018. Thursday was a rest day. Friday I played football again, so another 4 miles covered. Saturday I drove to Peebles with my cousin Caroline and a friend Margaret, who I met for the first time and I'm sure not the last. And Sunday, Glentress. So let's talk about John. John Cassidy is a guy that I know of through friends. He's kind of a distant acquaintance more than anybody that I knew really well. But I knew I know who he is. And when I found out from a mutual friend of ours, John Baker, who let me know John had done the West Highland Way in 2018, John Baker had been his photographer, who, coincidentally, is a good friend of mine, but also John did our wedding photographs. So if you're looking for a wedding photographer, John Baker's your man. I'm sure he has camera and can travel. So I spent 2 hours more or so with John on Wednesday night. We hooked up, grabbed a coffee, sat down and talked about the West Highland Way, his experiences, my motivation for wanting to do it, and just different kind of thoughts around John's experience and my reasons I want to spend time with him so that I could learn from what he was able to tell me now in hindsight. So we talked about loads of things, and I've written a few down here. So listening to different types of podcasts. The West Highland Way podcasts are great. I'm listening to them. John mentioned a guy called John Cole. So I've not yet been able to download any of John Cole's podcasts, but I'm going to do that and listen to those. Talked about strategies for support crews, so maybe having a split support crew, because they're going to be, if you've only got the one support crew, they're going to be up for as long as you are. They might grab some sleep, but probably not the most relaxing overnight. So having a think about the structure of the support crew that we've got, looking at things like an inventory for food, making sure you've got a list for each pit stop, for each checkpoint, about the food that you should have and need to have as you continue on, breaking down and understanding the calories that you should be taking by the hour over each distance as well, to make sure that you're keeping yourself fueled and hydrated, which I'm not great at on long distances. Talked about simple things which I hadn't considered, but just having a toothpaste and toothbrush to freshen yourself up, because after gels and carb drinks and whatever else it is, making sure that you keep your taste buds alive can go a long way to actually continuing you to be able to enjoy food. So simple things like that, which was a great little soundbite. thinking about the training that you do, so how you mix your long distances with your hill running, with how many miles you get into your legs on the day, and aligning that to what your objective is for the finish. So for me, first objective is to finish the West Highland Way. Anything more than that becomes a bonus. Yes, putting a time in it would be a challenge and a marker to aim for, but I don't underestimate the challenge of the West Highland Way, and my first goal is to make it through each checkpoint within the time frames and finish the 95 miles. We talked about supplements and other kind of foods like Active Root and Tailwind, which I'd heard of both, but I haven't tried either. And John, I think, liked them both for various reasons. I don't remember exactly. I think he ended up preferring Tailwind because the Active Root, which I think has got a ginger flavour, just became a little bit too much for over a long period of time. So I'm really grateful to John taking the time. It was massively important to spend time with someone that's done the run. This Wednesday, actually in Stirling, we've got the West Highland Way have organised a training and motivation night. So Caroline and Ivan, who are going to be my crew, we're going to go to that together, which will be amazing. Really looking forward to that. Quite excited about going to that because I believe there's going to be 100 of the runners have signed up to attending the evening event. So it'll be great to kind of mix with like-minded folk, certainly people that haven't done it before, as well as a number of people I'm sure that have, and really getting as much insight to the race and getting as ready as possible for that race. The objective over the next 4.5 months is 16.5 weeks. I think it was Saturday there. We're now into the 16-week kind of period. The whole objective is to get to the start line physically fit and mentally fit. Anything less is going to be a challenge. So John, thank you very much, and good luck in London. John is doing the London Marathon as well. So yeah, good luck, and we'll catch up very, very soon, I am sure. Glentress, right. Glentress, I finished, got the t-shirt to prove it, got the medal to show for it. So happy days. But that would only be part of the story. I was 177th, which, you know what? I'm quite chuffed with that. I'm really pleased. There were 225 that started, 200 finished. At the halfway stage, 25 people decided not to continue. Some did continue but pulled out slightly further into the course and didn't manage it all the way around for a second lap. So 177th, my first half was 2 hours 56 and my second half was 3 hours 42. I knew the second half was going to be slower. It was a really tough course, really snowy, really icy, really boggy terrain, really hilly, 5,000 feet of elevation, really rocky, and it was just terrain I hadn't run on for that length of time ever. So for me, it was all new. It was a brand new experience, and my inexperience probably contributed to the time that I ended up with. I'm quite confident that I could have shaved off maybe even up to half an hour of my finish time on the second lap, but I was just very hesitant about doing myself an injury, particularly going down the hills when the footing was at times, it was just treacherous. It was absolutely brutal. And I want to put that in context. That 6 hour 38 finish for Glentress, I did Edinburgh, and I thought I had done the training, the preparation and everything for Edinburgh as well as I had prepared for any race before. And that just fell apart, that race. I don't know what went wrong there, but I was 5 hours 26. Now that's a flat course. So I'm putting Glentress into context, and that gives me confidence for running flat marathons that my time would be probably close to my PB, which is still over 4 hours, but it's not too bad an indicator for how I am physically in shape at the minute for doing marathon distances, not the West Highland Way, but doing a marathon distance. What did I learn about when I did Glentress? Willpower is key. You've got to have mental strength. The mental strength meant that I didn't stop at the halfway point because I could have justified quite easily to myself that was a tough half, no need to push yourself anymore because you might get injured or whatever. I knew by the time I got to the 13-mile marking point that I was going back out, so a quick slug of iron brew, couple of flapjacks, and on I went. Knowing it was going to be a bit tougher, knowing it was going to be slower, but knowing I was going to finish. So that was important. There was other things that I learned. The backpack that I was wearing, I'd worn before. I wore it on the wall in 2017. I had no issues with it. This time, for some reason, I found it really inconvenient. I couldn't get access to the pockets as freely as I wanted, and I couldn't get the things I was wanting, and that really began to frustrate me. I had to take the backpack off too many times to access what it was I was needing. So I need to review, did I pack it badly, or do I need a different backpack? Because I can't put up with that. That's just not something that I can tolerate and be frustrated by when I'm running particularly long distances. I talked about trail confidence. The lack of confidence costs time, and again, not that I'm in the standard of the guys that finished it, but the finishers were getting round in under 4 hours. Now, not only are they good runners and strong runners going up and downhill, but they're trail confident. So I need to build my confidence so that I can shave off as much time as I can, particularly going on the downhills, I think. The uphills not so bad. It was slippy and it was kind of slow and sluggish going up hills, but it wasn't as dangerous. I don't think I felt as kind of at risk. But going downhill, I definitely did. And it was certainly to do with the conditions, not just because it was going downhill. But you've got to get used to that and prepared for that and have the confidence about how you move as well. So trail confidence, I need to build that up and run a lot more trails and stay off concrete as much as I can, I guess. I guess the last thing I would say is I've got a lot of work to do before I do the West Highland Way. I've come away from Glentress actually really pleased with the result, really chuffed. Caroline finished it as well. She finished her third Glentress now. That's her done 3 Glentress marathons, and she said herself that was by far the toughest, but she still got a really good time. And Margaret, who I met, one of Caroline's friends, she did the half, and she's done ultras and everything else before, but for her the half was an achievement in itself, and I would say anybody that did anything yesterday in the Glentress, the half or the full, everybody deserved a medal. So we all got our t-shirts and we got our medals as well for the efforts that we put in, so that was really, really good. But I've got lots to do to get ready for the West Highland Way Ultra. The training night on Wednesday is going to be fabulous. It's going to be really insightful. I'm going to continue with the running. I'm taking this week off up until about Thursday, Friday. I'm just giving the legs a rest. I've got a bit of a sore knee and a bit of a twinge in my Achilles on my left foot, but I've got no real muscle pain, which I'm surprised at. Maybe tomorrow I will, but for now, I want to thank Caroline for letting me know about Glentress. I want to thank Caroline and Margaret for the fabulous company. We stayed in John Buchan's house, which was tremendous, and it was a real bit of kind of culture as well. And Robbie couldn't make it, but Robbie, I know that you're out there on your way to Canada tonight, and I'm sure we will run another run very soon. So to everybody that's taken the time to watch this video, cheers. Another marathon in the bag, the first of 50 at 50, and many more will follow. Thanks for watching. Be cool.